This is the Huntington Tri-State Time Machine, brought to you by Realty Exchange, the top-performing real estate company in the Huntington, West Virginia tri-state area. Each week, your host, W.G. Bunch, and his guests share memories and stories about the past, the present, and the future of the Huntington Tri-State area. That's Huntington, West Virginia, Ashland, Kentucky, and the Chesapeake and Proctorville, Ohio areas. If you used to live here or you currently live here, you're going to catch yourself saying out loud, "Wow, I remember that." Now, here's WG.
Hey, what's going on? How are ya? It's the Huntington Tri-State Time Machine. I am your host, WG Bunch. Here we are. There you are. I'm here. And I don't know why I'm singing again, but I'm here with Vanessa Hankins, the co-host, numero uno co-hostess. Vanessa, say hello.
I was going to ask about the singing. Hey, guys.
And Vanessa, tell us about our sponsor today.
Our sponsor is Realty Exchange. Find us online at realtyex.com. We are the number one selling real estate company in the tri-state, West Virginia, Ohio, Kentucky, and Florida.
And we want to give a special shout out to our podcast company, Circle 270 Media. If you're doing a podcast and you're not bringing in the numbers that you want, or if you're thinking about doing a podcast and just not sure how to even get started, just Google Circle 270 Media and they will hook you up. They're a big reason for our success.
They're the real talent.
Yes. We are on location today. This is kind of an ongoing series that we have called First Time for Everything. This is the first time that I have been at this place. And when I told people we were coming here, first of all, Vanessa said, "How in the world have you not been there?"
How do you live here? Right.
And, friends, and even when we posted it on social media, they said, "Are you sure you're from Huntington? What? How could you have not been there?" We are broadcasting from a beautiful room here at Heritage Farm. And we've had
quite the day.
We have spent the last 4 hours with the total Heritage Farm experience. We have zip-lined. We have taken a tour of transportation. We have looked at...
What about the animals? Don't forget about the animals.
Animals everywhere. And we're not talking about the patrons or the customers. But actual, farm animals and stuff. First time I've ever seen a blacksmith.
That was pretty cool. That was like our first. We jumped right in that building. It was cool.
Yes, and we have a special guest coming up here that if you know Heritage Farm, you're going to know who this person is. And I hope I don't offend him, but I have to admit, walking by that, I went, why would anybody want to watch a blacksmith just hit a hot piece of metal with a hammer?
We wouldn't have knives without those people.
And I was in there for like 15 minutes. I mean, these people are obviously special.
He was like a wealth of knowledge, though. Yeah. I don't know that gentleman's name, but I mean, he was phenomenal.
Yeah, I couldn't believe. I was like, I'm really kind of interested in this. The Doll and Carriage Museum.
Gotta be honest, not my favorite.
It was hot and cold. Some of those dolls are, and it's not like Barbie dolls, action figures. It's like those, what do they call, baby dolls? No,
porcelain dolls, like collectibles. And when I say not my favorite, it's not that they weren't cool. They were super cool. The lady that was hostess? I don't know.
Yeah.
The guide.
Yeah.
Another wealth of knowledge. She was telling us that all of those dolls were handmade by a woman and her daughter.
Yeah.
Like, what a skill set.
Yeah.
Like everything, the porcelain, the paint, the outfits, the shoe, like, wow.
Yeah. And carriages from
those were
before
cool.
the Civil War, and it
those
was
were cool.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. I have to admit, I kind of had to say to myself, I'm in a doll and carriage museum, and I'm actually interested. This is weird, but look, it's all about honesty, folks. We went to this treehouse thing with like Indiana Jones swinging bridge type of things, and Vanessa, have you ever heard me scream that loud?
At that point in the day, no.
Okay. But yeah, so we had a whole lot of fun, and then we capped it off with And we're going to talk to Mr. Audy Perry here in a second as far as the theme and what it's all about and stuff. But one thing they added a few years ago that Vanessa's first time, and not my first time, but first time here, is we did some zip lining.
Yeah.
And we'll tell that story
Still
coming.
mind blown.
Yeah, we'll tell that story coming up here in a little bit. So let's introduce the man, the myth, the legendary Audy Perry.
I like that.
Audy, how are you, buddy?
Good to be here. Thank you, WG.
Good.
Hello, Miss Vanessa.
Give us your exact title. You're the owner, proprietor. I mean, what's the deal?
So Heritage Farm is owned and operated by the Heritage Farm Foundation, which is a 501c3 charitable educational organization, and I am in its trustee.
Okay.
So I am, and also the executive director of the Heritage Farm.
Are you here just about it? You're here every day.
You
It's
live
open,
here, right?
aren't you?
Like this.
You don't live here, do you?
I live about a half mile down the road.
Do you really?
Yes.
Probably can't go far.
That's right.
Now there are. How many acres is this?
1,000.
This is 1,000 acres.
Yeah.
Are there any residential properties anywhere on the property? Oh, there probably couldn't be, right?
No.
Oh, wow. Now, I think I saw on the website you can rent a
Yes.
room or a cabin or something.
So there's cabins that so there's the Strawberry Inn, which is a log cabin that is created out of two different log cabins. One was from Lavalette, and one was brought here from South Point, Ohio. You can stay in the Blackberry Inn, which was another two cabins that were put together. You can stay in the Hollyberry Inn, which is one of the original farmhouses from the Blatt Dairy. All of this area was settled in mid to late 1800s by 7 German dairy farming families. So I really enjoyed the legendary reference. So yes, I knew WG really knew that actually. So
of course.
So this whole place was settled. And you are on 2 of those dairy farms. The Schaefer Dairy Farm is where the 1850s dairy barn, as you pull in to the property, and then
It's like the parking lot area. Okay.
and then as you cross the bridge into the village, you then are on the Cornelius Blatt Dairy, and the Hollyberry Inn is his original farmhouse that's been updated. And then now you can also stay in that 1850s dairy barn. It's a retreat center. You can eat, sleep, and meet up to 40 people in there, so it's super cool.
And are they all? Do they all have the same feel as Heritage Farm? It's all like wood and that
correct.
that kind of feeling.
Yeah,
It's all wood.
I'm an idiot. Whatever.
So both Strawberry Inn and Blackberry Inn are log cabins, so hand-hewn logs from the 1800s. That dairy barn its core structure is made of hand-hewn logs, and then when Dad converted it, it was their original museum. All growing up, it was just a normal barn. We raised cattle,
Part
horses,
of life here.
everything. And then when they converted it into their first museum, he paneled each room with a different hardwood of Appalachia. So there's a cherry room and a walnut
cool.
room and a poplar room.
Well, and I've seen that in the treehouse. That kind of carries on. You guys
Yes.
have it around that main.
Yes.
That's really cool.
And in the industry museum, there's a whole exhibit about the timber industry, and one of our artisans actually made a display of all 27 hardwood species in Appalachia, and it tells you what they used it for and why it was specific. I mean, Mom and Dad celebrated the amazing Appalachian person, and when you do so, you have to celebrate the amazing Appalachian flora and fauna, and so that's kind
Absolutely.
of how that other things came about.
So we've got Strawberry. Is it inn or lodge?
Inn.
It's Strawberry Inn.
It's a 2-room cabin, or I'm sorry, a 2-bedroom cabin.
Okay, and a Blackberry Inn.
2-bedroom cabin, and then Hollyberry Inn is a 4-bedroom home.
Oh, Holly Berry. I thought you were saying Halle Berry, the actress, and I was like,
Well, if she's listening, come on over. Yeah. Halle Berry can stay in Holly Berry. It'll be great.
There you go. Yes, it's a tongue twister. Try to say that fast 5
And her
times.
whole entourage can stay in the Barn Conference Center. It'll be great.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're going to need that space.
Yeah. Now, okay, and when did Heritage Farm, when did it open as an attraction?
Okay, so Mom and Dad moved here in 1973, so we're celebrating our 50th year this year. But they opened their first museum in 1996, and then it was put into a charitable entity in 2006.
Okay. And about how many and you guys open what, in like April or May or?
So we have different seasons. So we open primarily for school groups in the spring, and then we convert to the summer public season, which we're in now. And then as the fall hits, we'll pick back up in the school season.
Right.
And then we show up for Christmas Village and put
Which is amazing.
antique white lights on everything, and
it's beautiful
it's a
here.
lot of fun.
Oh,
Joji,
wow.
You'll need to come back for that.
Okay.
It's
Yeah,
an
I love that
experience
kind of
its own
stuff.
self.
Yeah. And then what's the approximate attendance for a calendar year? How many people will be here?
So, there's usually, depending on events and such, there'll be 30,000, 40,000 people.
Good gravy. Wow.
Out here on this back road. Like, that's crazy to think about it in that way.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, they were working on the road out here, and poor fellows were trying to fix a slip, and we had a motor coach, 7 school buses, and 500 cars go by while they're trying to fix a slip. So.
Now, all right, how long can you stay at the Strawberry Inn? I mean, can you book it for a month?
Or are you trying to move in?
Well, yeah, I mean, if they're going to add all that stuff, I mean, why not?
You're not
going to
be able to get rid of him. He's
Yeah.
never going to leave.
It's fun. Yeah, there's always something good going down on the farm.
Oh my! Oh, now he's trying to sell sausage or something. There's always something good going down at the farm. Welcome to Heritage Farm. Oh no!
Family farm fun for everyone.
But see, now I'm picturing
I love that.
I'm picturing those pigs that we saw in the petting area.
Stop.
Yeah, I know that's terrible.
Here's the rule.
I don't want to go
Circle of
there.
life.
Once you get a name, you don't get eaten.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
So Penelope's safe.
Okay, good. Whoo-wee. All right. All right. We're going to come back to Audy in a second, but first, let's play a game because everybody loves the games. And Audy, I think, is probably a little bit nervous because when I told him,
I'm always nervous when he wants to play a game.
I'm like, we're going to play a game that has nothing to do with Heritage Farm. He's like, I have no idea what that even means. So here we go. We're going to play.
This is life. It's probably hard to venture away when this is your day to day.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay. We're going to do your call, which I'm just going to ask you an open-ended question. There's no right or wrong answer. First question I have would be, since you know this area probably better than anybody, what, in your opinion, is the scariest animal that lives in our region?
Scariest animal that lives in our region.
And don't say man and get all political and stuff.
No. I think it's the crow.
The crow?
They're very ominous.
I know, but yeah, they just bully all the other birds out of your bird feeder, and
Right, they are bullies.
and they're loud.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm never
I'm not a big fan of birds, period. But
No, I never
we
wanted.
talked about that.
What do you think,
in
Vanessa?
that
What's
bird
your
area.
answer?
The zipline guys told me that sometimes they see bobcats like that braces. I'm gonna keep
Bobcats?
bobcats. I don't want to run into one of those. Like, I feel like they're probably not lovable.
If I would have seen a snake today, I would never have come back.
Well,
Yeah.
So
They're everywhere,
So
aren't
don't
they?
snakes
well, don't go
everywhere.
in the nature center because we have timber rattlers, copperheads, king snakes.
Apparently, we missed that. Thank God.
Jeez. Is that...
I told you that trimmers did me in as a child. Like, I can't with snakes.
Oh, yeah. No. Okay, next question. How about... in the summer, are you a pizza guy or a hot dog guy?
I love both of them, but it's hard to live in Huntington and not be a hot dog guy.
Right.
If you get a hot dog, doesn't matter where you get it, what toppings are you putting on?
So I love sauce, mustard, and slaw.
Sauce, mustard, and slaw. Okay, I can go with that. All right, Vanessa, what's yours? I don't think I've ever asked you.
Between pizza and hot dog or my toppings?
Just on hot dog toppings.
I do sauce, mustard, cheese.
Sauce, mustard, and cheese. Like
Sometimes
the cheese.
ketchup, but I found out ketchup's like really terrible for you.
Oh.
So if I don't have to have it, I don't have it. As I
Okay.
drink a Coke, that's terrible for me.
All right. Audy, your favorite sport to watch on TV? Or it could be live.
Yeah, I love watching Marshall football.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Yeah.
All right. And your favorite all-time player?
Cal Ripken Jr.
I've got bad news for you, Audy.
What?
He never played football for Marshall. But
You just said your most favorite player ever.
okay.
You didn't say
I was gonna
football
say,
player.
I was with him. I was not on par with you.
I was
Did
I was afraid that he thought Cal Ripken Jr. played for Marshall. I was
you said
okay, I got you.
favorite player
you moved
ever.
away a while. How do you know?
I got you. All right.
So you want favorite Marshall player ever?
No.
Favorite Marshall football player
Sure, yeah.
ever? Oh, I don't know. There's so many good ones, but I sure enjoyed the Chad Pennington years. Those were a lot of fun.
Okay.
I agree.
All right.
It's a good time to live in Huntington.
Let's see. Last one. This will be interesting. What's the first record you ever bought?
Striper, Soldiers Under Command.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Did you see them when they played in Huntington?
I did not. I have seen them, but not when they were in Huntington.
Have you seen them recently?
Yes.
Do they still throw Bibles out?
They did not. They did not.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I don't know who this is.
Striper is a Christian
Heavy metal
yeah,
band.
heavy metal hard rock band.
Oh, okay.
And what they used to do in the 80s is they had like small Bibles and they would throw them out
Like
to the crowd in the audience.
Because
Yeah.
they were normally performing like before Motley Crue or Quiet Riot.
Yeah, they would.
I was gonna say, hold on, isn't their crowd like already probably
they-
equipped?
But at the time, they were opening for other bands.
Gotcha,
Yeah,
gotcha. Okay, that makes sense.
and they
I get that.
It seems like every time that they would tour, no matter who they would tour with, the tour would be called the Heaven and Hell Tour.
Of course, marketing
And, yeah,
101.
Striper would come out and throw out little Bibles, and then
How did I miss this?
Motley
I didn't even know
Crue would
this was
come
a
out
band.
and throw other things out.
right.
Anyway, so
Looking them up on Spotify when I leave here.
yes, there you go. So, all right, now I guess let me ask Audy, how much training does your staff go through? They know everything about everything. They are I haven't had a bad experience with
No,
anybody all day.
They're all so kind.
And they know everything like the back of their hand. I mean, it seems like they knew stuff like the guy in the transportation museum knew things about the like the petting zoo area. I mean, everybody knows everything.
And that mustache, like that
Yeah,
was
that
a skill
mustache is
set all in
cool.
its own.
Yes. So, okay, how does it work? I mean, do you have a lot of turnover, or is it kind of like the same staff every
I feel
year?
like it's
or-
a family out here.
It is a family. I mean, the people make the difference. You know, stuff is nice, but people make the difference.
And they're all like, every time we've been here, I mean, that's the way you just described it. WG is the way that it is anytime you're here.
They are amazing, and you know, and that's an indicia of Appalachia as well.
Yes.
And if you go on Google or TripAdvisor and you go through our reviews, almost always it's about the staff, and you know, and that's Appalachia. You know, the people are just kind and they're welcoming and they want you to have a good experience.
Awesome.
And I also, the other thing it stuck with me is you would think coming out here everything's going to be, you know, for lack of a better term, old timey or whatever, but the check-in experience is great. I mean, as far
I
as
love the iPad situation. Like that made it so nice to get through.
I mean, you know, everything's right there at a terminal, and you just it's like checking into a hotel or like you know, in an airport or whatever. I mean, we were in less than 5 minutes, and there were people waiting and whatnot. So,
Well, and that goes back to Mom and Dad when they designed an Appalachian History Museum. They purposely did not. If you think about most museums, it's about a person or a specific period of time,
Right.
and they lock you in that. And they specifically didn't want that. They wanted it to be about change and how we embrace change. it's the only constant, right?
Right.
And so if you look, almost every museum is about how things change.
Absolutely.
And so so I appreciate that. That's a nice shout out to Mom and Dad, because they specifically put that in motion as to, even though it looks like the 1850s, each thing is purposely trying to remind you
Right.
that it moves forward. We aren't stuck. Dad would always say, we like to say the good old days, but honestly, they weren't that good.
Yeah.
Life was hard.
Yeah.
But the people were amazing. And so typically when you think of the good old days, what you're really thinking about is, I love my grandma. That's,
Right.
But life was tough. And so part of what the farm celebrates is somebody in your family, your ancestry was amazing, right? They built their own home, they grew their own food, they made their own clothing. They were able to protect their whole family against anything that came against them, or else you and I wouldn't be here.
Right.
They led
And
the way.
these people overcame incredible challenges to make our lives possible.
Right.
And that's not to shame us, but to inspire us. Gosh, I mean, we got junk going on in
Look
our
at what
life and
they
in our
did for
country,
us.
but Appalachian up, people, get it over.
Right. Oh, I like that.
It's just life, and somebody in your family was able to do it and got you here, and you got to
Amen.
admit, we've got it way easier than they did.
Oh, for sure.
And so if they were able to do it, so can we.
I think it's complete fate that I was not in those days back then.
Well, you just think. I tell the school kids all the time, if I had to build my house, it would be like 2 sticks in a Walmart bag, right?
Yeah.
So to your point, but we would have had. That doesn't mean we're failures. It just means that how we learn and what we need to learn now might be different. There's
Right.
more of us, and we live in a different thing. But the key is problem solving. Regardless of whether your skill sets are, fits in those defined areas that we talk about, whether it's farming or making
Right.
clothes and of those. But also just today, every time you receive $1, as a realtor or as a
Little Miss Safety Town.
the basis of all commerce is problem solving.
Right.
The reason you receive that $1 or spend $1 is you're
Absolutely.
trying to solve a problem.
Right.
And that's a cool thing about Appalachia. We ought to be some of the most entrepreneurial people on the planet. That's our people. They
For sure.
figured it out without
sure.
much help. And, obviously you can point out the parts in our history where we've kind of gone away from that and just assumed someone would sweep in and fix our problems. But and that's part of what the museum's about, is to remind you you're capable of fixing it.
Absolutely.
And I love the conversation Dad had with another gentleman that preserved Appalachia down in Tennessee, John Rice Irwin at the Museum of Appalachia, and the ARC was interviewing them, and the question was, Mr. Irwin was raised by his grandparents, so in the time of
so
this
he had
question,
the
he was like
generational
90,
gap.
so he was
Right.
truly an old soul.
Uh-huh.
And so the question was, what's the biggest difference between today and yesterday? And Mr. Irwin, I never forget, he said, well, when my grandparents faced a challenge, their very first question was, what can I make to fix it?
Oh, yeah.
And today, our very first question is, what can I buy to fix
Yes.
it?
Right.
And that's more than an economical statement. It's a personal statement.
So
Am
guilty of
I
that.
looking for how to fix this thing, or am I just looking for someone else to come and save me?
Right.
Right.
And so,
See, that's
kinda,
the first question I ask is, who can I get to fix this for me?
Sure.
That's
and we joke about that, but we do live in a different world, and so much different time frame. But the fact that we can anticipate people's needs and connect people with those who can solve those problems, that's a problem solver as well. So
That kind of leads me, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, to a question that I had a few moments ago, so we kind of wrap back around. The cabins that you have on the property, you said two of them were 2 cabins put together. That's your people here on staff that did the work to bring those together?
Right.
What
yes.
a skill set.
Right. Yeah. And again, all those were done. Dad passed away in 2015, so all of those were done prior to his passing.
Cool.
And yeah, the amazing fellas. Don Gibson, if you're listening, you're awesome. The other fellas who spent a lot of time, Junior Kahn and
Junior Kahn. Let me rock you, Junior Kahn.
Lots of fellas over the years that helped them,
Yeah.
have passed away. But yeah, great people, and they just figured it out.
Right. Well, I was going to say that like-mindedness to come together and to see your dad's vision. Like, yeah, let's do this.
Let's do it. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Super
Don
awesome.
Gibson was a stock boy at Wagner Brothers, the hardware.
Oh, yeah, I remember
So
that
it's
place.
like all these people had like their day jobs.
Well,
and then we're like coming here and
He told me Dad had came out there and bought a basketball backboard from Wagner Brothers. And Don went out to the storage thing and was loading it up in Dad's truck. And Dad said, "Hey, do you know anybody who can install this?" And by the way, it was my 10-year-old birthday present.
Oh, nice.
The second floor of the dairy barn was a basketball court.
Oh, wow.
But
That's
anyway,
cool.
And so
You were 10 years old and you had your own indoor basketball court?
in the barn. It was awesome. And then they discovered.
Why were we not friends growing up?
Well, but then they discovered, due to my vertical challenge, that really
We're not
wasn't
gonna
going
be
to
a ball
my.
player.
So they went ahead and just
It's not
turned it
gonna
into
be
a
your
museum.
calling.
So yeah.
The inspiration for white men can't jump, ladies and gentlemen.
So I was not legendary relevant to in the dairy barn, but.
Oh, legendary
You're now
and
getting
dairy
Welcome to the
barn.
show, WG. It's been a great time.
usually it's me that's way behind.
Audy is here all week, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget to tip your bartenders and waitresses.
I just wish everyone could see your face when it dawned on you.
Yeah.
That's what's great is the
Oh,
expression.
goodness gracious. All right, well, let's talk about some of the newer stuff because we zip line today.
Can you believe it? Like I'm alive.
Yeah.
Crazy.
But wasn't it fun? That was your first time.
Oh my God, it was so fun.
I'd done it a few times before, but yeah, and a great setup. And if you've never zip line before, it's as safe as can be, and they've got a great crew up there. I
was gonna say
you couldn't fall if you tried.
I don't know how old they are, but I'm gonna call them kids because they feel like kids to me. But all of them up there were so kind to me and talked me through it, and it was kind of beautiful, honestly, because I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm here in like the scariest moment of my life.
Yes. Yeah.
And they were so nice.
That's how old? 3 years? 4 years? How long has it been up?
It went in 2021.
Okay. And what's that big
Talitha Coombe.
Talitha Coombe. Okay, we could not understand when they were telling
Talitha
us.
Coombe is a 4-story challenge course and has over 30-some different challenges, and it completes with the mountaintop drop, which is a 40-foot vertical free fall.
Yeah, that's what the girl was telling me about. She's like, yeah, it's so fun. I'm like, yeah, right.
Yeah.
No way.
Fun for somebody else, not for me. And then what else? There's
Mountain biking,
Which looks super
is
cool.
so much fun. There's about 10 miles of trails, and the unique thing here is we take you up, and then you choose your adventure down. So it's kind of
cool.
like skiing for mountain bikes. You can ride your bike up a return trail, but most opt for a holler ride up. and
Yeah, for
then-
sure.
Yeah.
now.
And you can bring your own bike, or you can rent one of ours.
Okay, that was going to be my question.
That's
So
what I was gonna say,
You guys
yeah.
have your own bikes. Okay. Now, is it something where how many different ways is there to get down the hill?
So there's 10 different trails. So
Do you pay hourly or per ride?
no, for the day.
Oh,
So
okay.
each trail, is it like expert level?
Yeah, it's like a ski resort.
Like a
You can
ski-
go
okay.
beginner, intermediate, expert. And up top, there is a mile-long loop that allows you to practice if you've not been
Okay.
downhill before. And we have staff who can help you get your confidence
That's so
back.
cool.
Loop is in horizontal, not
Yeah,
vertical.
it's flat.
I've got to bring Brandon here. I was telling WG that my husband, when I met him, he did downhill biking, like at snowshoe and stuff,
fun,
and like
yeah.
did the whole racing,
Right.
and like it's wild.
And
It's a skill set that I do
and there's
not
a
have.
pump track up there, so for those
Yeah.
who really know how to jump, and but that practice loop includes berms and rolls and jumps for people to get their confidence level
That's
up before
super
going
cool.
downhill.
I don't think a lot of people probably even realize that that's there.
Right. It opened last year.
So that's okay, because that's so cool.
It is
so cool.
It is super fun.
And what else in the past 5 years? Is there anything else? It seems like there's more food things or more food locations than I thought there would be. I thought there'd be like one little restaurant, but there's
It's nice that they're spread apart. Like as a mom,
so the
I'm
soda
like,
fountain.
Great.
My mom gets a root beer float every day for her
course
lunch.
she does, yeah.
Because
Why wouldn't you?
Wow.
I mean, it's delicious. So the soda fountain's here in the gift shop in the visitor center, and then Village Vittles is in the middle of the village with all kinds of things. But my personal recommendation is the homemade pepperoni rolls, which
I have one. I can smell it still.
Yeah.
I ate on it right before we started. I couldn't leave here without one.
and it's delicious homemade bread and all that goodness inside.
It's so good.
And then out at Adventure Hut, we also have snacks and beverages,
Right.
and everybody likes the.
My daughter had 2 drumsticks.
I was gonna say
2
popsicles
drumsticks.
2.
and drumsticks.
You
and
go,
ice cream,
Ringo.
all that kind of thing.
Okay, now what's the schedule? I mean, what?
So we are open to the public every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday,
Okay.
May through October.
Okay,
And then for private events on Tuesdays and Wednesdays.
okay, gotcha. And then when is the holiday
The
thing?
Christmas Village happens the first 2 weekends in December.
Okay, on Saturdays and Sundays or Fridays?
WG, like
Fridays and
it
Saturdays.
sells out. Like
Yeah,
you got to plan for that.
Oh, you have to buy tickets and everything.
Yeah,
Oh.
and because we limit the amount of people so everybody has a good time.
Now, what if it snows? Is that
Oh, it's part of
that's
it.
bonus?
Even more.
Yeah, it's even more
okay.
beautiful.
Oh, okay, cool. Because you're not ziplining and stuff at that. No. Okay.
We're trying to talk Santa Claus into doing that, but he hasn't taken that.
And is it more of a nighttime thing?
Yes, that happens from 5 to 9 p.m.
Yeah.
Okay, because
in
all the
evening.
lights are on and okay.
And there's live nativity dramas and the wagon ride takes you out into the lights, and also the animals are out there, the bison and the elk and.
And when you're like waiting on the wagon ride, they have like live music that plays with heaters and hot chocolate. I mean, it's a whole Christmas
Cool.
vibe. Like you have to. It's the holiday season.
I'll have to. Yeah, I'm always looking for something like that. That's awesome.
You can
Take your girlfriend on a
invite
date.
Hallmark out and make a show. Or
You
something.
told yes, it's very reminiscent of a Hallmark movie, like for sure.
Oh wow, cool. All right. So so we'll break up during the beginning of the visit, but then we'll reunite by the time we leave and
Yes.
right
You
off.
may
it.
contemplate living on the farm,
underneath the
changing your
festival
life.
atrium.
Yes, exactly. Yes. Well, yeah. Anyway.
I was
Okay.
wondering where you were going with that.
Yeah, I know. I just
Legendary.
Yeah, legendary.
Okay, good.
I'm stealing that. That's fantastic. So okay, well, easiest way to get tickets is through the website or just show up here or
Either way, heritagefarmmuseum.com. If you're wanting to book an adventure park experience, you really should do that online beforehand. So because those fill up, so you don't want to come out here and realize they've all filled up.
Because they're only like certain time sets, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Now, one of the adventure things that we haven't mentioned is ones for the family. There's called Wilder. Wilder is our mascot. So usually if you show up in the morning, you'll get a chance to meet Wilder. It's like a 7-foot box turtle. He's pretty fun. But
I think
anyway.
did we see him?
No, because you guys came at 11.
Oh, okay.
Wilder goes back into his shell at about 10:30 or so,
Gotcha.
or 11. But anyway, so Wilder's Zip and Climb is a fantastic first adventure for, anybody, but for
Specifically
that
littles.
young person, it is so much fun. It's
probably where I should have
It's only
started.
2 levels high as opposed to Talitha Coombe, which is 4.
Okay.
So at max, you're 15, 20 feet off the ground. It includes really fun. Every station involves a choice. So they aren't labeled hard and easy,
Right.
but you can mentally choose what your brain thinks
What
is
your
more
brain is,
approachable.
yeah.
And so it's just a fabulous setup, and it includes about a 100-foot zip line.
and it's called what?
Wilder's Zip and Climb.
Is that right there? It's by the playground area?
Yes.
Okay, well, I was going to say, and that's so cool because I was making sure it was the same thing. If you have a real little that's not ready for that, they can play at the playground and you can watch your other littles
Correct.
do that.
And
Just
so
as
all
a
of
parent,
that's all
it's
in
like
one area.
awesome.
So at Wilder Zip and Climb, you do have to weigh at least 50 pounds.
Okay.
Whereas like the big zip line and the big, you have to be 75 pounds. But right down there all together, as you were saying, Vanessa, in addition to Wilder Zip and Climb, which does have a 50-pound limit, there's a rock wall there that has no limit. There's the Six Simple Machines playground, which has no limit. And
that little train is right there.
Right.
It's cute.
And the treehouse trek.
Yes.
With the rope bridges.
It's all
has
right
no-
there.
yes,
so,
it's
like,
all right
parents,
there.
if you have to come on your own or you're bringing grandma with you and she can't get around real well,
she can sit right there and watch
There's
it
the
all.
spots for all that.
Yeah.
I remember when we first saw it, you thought that was the zip line.
I did. I was excited. I was like, oh, I could do that.
And
this
then-
is not so bad.
and then when we were-
I saw them go across my head.
Yeah, and then we were like, I was like, no, look up.
It's like 200 feet in the air.
200 feet above us. I was like, no, that's the zip line we're going on.
Funny story. So I was up there on that observation deck right below the Red Tail Racer zip lines, and there was a father and a son, and the son said, Dad, I'm not doing this. And he said, I thought you said you wanted to go on the zip line. He's like, I was talking about the one down there.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So we got him on a holler ride down to the other zip line.
Your staff was super great about like, hey, if you definitely don't want to do this, now is the time to let me know.
That's right. Not after you step
I'm like,
off.
no, I want to beat WG. I'm committed.
And we were 1-1. Yes, because you have two different zip lines.
Right.
You go
They
to
get to race each other.
Yes.
Well, but WG is a cheater, so
I'm not I
He just can't count.
yeah.
that's a nice way to put it.
I said we'll go on 3. Ready? 1, 2, and then I took off. And then she was, and I could, as I'm.
What a view up there! Like
Yeah,
fun.
I'm still shocked that I did it. I really can't believe that I did, but it's beautiful.
So for those listening, you can see all the way over into Ohio.
Into Ohio, yeah.
You see over I-64, over the river, and into basically the mountain that has Greasy Ridge up there past Tractor Supply and all that over in South
How
Point.
beautiful is that in the fall? Like, is it?
Oh, yeah.
It's the best.
And then if you notice, I don't know, but if you look the other way when you're zipping, you see that original 1800 settler
Yes, I
cabin
did
tucked
see
back
that.
into the woods.
Yes.
So that's really cool.
I don't think you saw that.
I did.
I think your eyes were closed the entire time.
No, they were not. Do not. I am a weenie, but I'm not that big of a weenie. I think I told you before we took off. If I'm doing this, my eyes are staying open.
Okay.
fun.
I wasn't gonna miss it.
I couldn't tell because you were behind me the whole time. Anyway, so there we go. All right. Well, we're gonna wrap up. Audy, thank you so much. We had a fantastic day.
Thank you so much.
If you guys are looking for something this summer, and if you haven't been here in a while, come out. If
many new things. We were just here in the winter for
And-
the Christmas thing, and
yeah, and if you've been here before, then I'm sure you're going to come back because you know how much fun it is. If you've never been here, even if you're listening to this out of town, you know more than half of the people that listen are not in the Huntington area. Come in if
do a weekend.
Yeah, you're
plan
visiting.
this.
You're coming in for a high school reunion or something like that. You know, plan a day out here because I'm very guilty of I didn't know it was here. I feel bad, but
And if you stay in one of the inns, admission to the farm is included.
Ooh,
And
that's a bonus.
And you also receive discounts off the adventure park stuff, so it's super affordable.
cool.
Well, I was going to say that's something to add to. I feel like, again, as a mom, I'm thinking of this. If you don't want to do the adventure thing and you just want a day out, just come and do the farm.
Yeah.
like it is worth it.
A
as
lot
well.
of local families just get the family pass. That
Yes.
way they can come every day we're open.
Yeah.
Maybe even,
You can
just
only
come
do
for
the-
an hour. Let
you
your
can only
kid
do the
play with
pool
the
in the
goats
park.
and go home. you
Right.
know?
You can only do the pool in the park so many times.
And finally, what do you call this kind of an attract? It's not. I mean, because it's not an amusement park, but it's not really a farm. I mean, what do you call this? Is an attraction or a museum or a little bit of everything?
It's an educational experience.
Okay.
Is that fair?
Educational experience.
I think that's how I would
We invite you to
describe
come
it.
Yes.
Appalachian up.
There you go.
I really love that. I hope you have shirts that say that.
There you go. So
if not, get those. Those
Yeah.
are cool. That's awesome.
Well, Audy, thanks for joining us. We certainly appreciate you being on the show. And for everybody out there listening, check out our other episodes. We've got more coming throughout the summer, depending on when you're listening to this. We're putting them out every week or two.
Try.
Vanessa, thank you for being here. And why don't you go ahead and, thanks again to Realty Exchange and Circle 270 Media.
Don't forget them.
Yeah, exactly. And paying the bills. And Vanessa, why don't you take us out?
We are out of here.
Thanks for listening to the Huntington Tri-State Time Machine, brought to you by Realty Exchange, the top performing real estate company in the Huntington, West Virginia tri-state area. If you have a memory you would want WG to talk more about, just send him an email at memories@HTSTimemachine.com or post a comment on the Time Machine Facebook group page. Did you like this episode? Be sure to share it with friends and family. You can find a link in the show notes that you can use to share it. And be sure to let Realty Exchange know that you like the podcast as well. Their contact information can be found in this episode's show notes.